My name is Greg. I'm an atheist. I post as GKLR here on YouTube, and this video is going to be one in a series of videos addressing the objections people raise to the argument that atheism is a belief there's no God. In this video, I'll be addressing the objection that says A equals naught. A equals naught. Just drop it right in there. And A equals naught is an argument that you'll see. If you come out and say that atheism is a belief there's no God, you're sure to come across this pretty quickly. You're going to hear it pretty fast from people. That A equals naught, and therefore atheism is not theism, and theist is not a theist. So if you're not a theist, you're an atheist by definition. This is what they're going to tell you. Well, this is wrong on many counts. First off, it's not the way that language works. Language, there's no word that's defined through etymology. Etymology is the study of how a word came to be, its origin. Okay? In etymology, that's all they do, is they study how a word came to be about. And the A equals naught came to be about at a time before formal logic was even formed, and naught is a logical term that wasn't granted even formal meaning until many thousands of years after A equals naught came to be. All right? The Greek language was founded well before Aristotle founded formal logic, which was, I don't know how many years after. I don't know when the Greek language was actually formed, but nonetheless, or when A equals naught came to be as something in Greek. But it wasn't until Aristotle that naught and formal logic was founded at all. Okay? The arguments that I've been professing in these videos talk about an argument or refer basically to an argument used by Bertrand Russell in 1905. The problems with naught that I've raised stem from an argument where he professes the present King of France does not exist, the present King of France has no hair, and the present King of France is not bald. And if at the very least he's showing that having no hair does not mean not bald. And again, I would use the same thing for other things that I've used in my arguments here, like the number 1 has no hair and is not bald. Nonetheless, is that the arguments that I'm using here in these videos pertain to that, or directly refer to that article by Bertrand Russell called On Denoting. And it's free online, it's available widely, it's not a secret. So it's out there for you to read if you want to, and I'll post a link to it. All right. Now, if atheism meant not theism, well, mathematics is not theism, but it's not atheism either. And if atheist meant not theist, well, again, mathematics is not a theist, and yet it's not an atheist. Okay? So, again, this A equals naught thing is one of the silliest things you'll come across, because it relies on this understanding of language as being dependent on the origin of a word, which is ridiculous. A word like relative, for example, has multiple contexts. And what I'm going to tell you here is that if etymology was a method to define a word, then there could only be one origin for each word and only one meaning for each word. And yet, meanings change over time. Gay no longer means happy in the same way that it did anyway. A word like relative has 4 distinct different meanings. It has meaning in physics, where it means relative to another physical object, its relationship to another physical object. In philosophy, relative truth refers to relative to a system of proof. In genealogy, it represents my first cousin as a relative. And in ethics, it means relative to an individual perspective. It means like subjective. So the word relative has multiple contexts, and this multiple contexts could not exist in our language if we define words through etymology. Okay? Etymology is no way to define a word. That's not the way language works.